Hi, I'm Kayla with McNerdy Costumes and Props, and welcome back. Today's video is sponsored by... Sorry, just one second. Oh, hi. Hi, thought I'd stop by. You haven't returned any of my calls. Yeah, sorry about that. Things have been kind of busy. Too busy to, let me know you're thinking about me? Well, it's just that this is one of the biggest projects in my life, and it's taking up a lot of time and money. Clearly. Did you really need like 6 different kinds of paint? Well, there's a specific look I'm going for, and I wanted to do some testing. Did you even think about me once in the last month? Well, yeah, of course I did, but, it's just, things happen. Okay, well, can I come in? I'm kind of right in the middle of filming an intro right now. Figures. You never have time for me anymore, so I don't even know why you bother. Oh, come on, baby, don't be like that. No, you do this every time. You call me at the beginning of a project when you need me, and then it's like I don't even exist. It'll be different for the next project, I promise. Find somebody else that will believe your lies. We're finished. Oh, wait, come back. Come on, let's talk about this. Hi, I'm Kayla with McNerdy Costumes and Props, and welcome back. Today, we're jumping into one of the biggest projects I've ever undertaken. My sewing room is pretty big, but I have a hard time working down there. Anyone who's ever had a sewing room with poor lighting and carpet knows exactly what I'm talking about. I need a place to feel inspired and to be a little bit more organized because that's something that frequently gives me trouble, because I am a disaster human being. This project was inspired by the series Secrets of the Castle. If you're curious, it's on Amazon Prime, but I'll link the YouTube playlist down below. It is an amazing series, but I'll give you the cliff notes. A team of historians got together for some experimental archaeology to build a 13th century castle called Guedelon. The project is set in southern France, using materials and methods appropriate for the era. From the gorgeous masonry to the dyes and pigments made from the earth, everything is made by hand, and I am absolutely in awe of the team and the dedication they all have to this project. So I wanted a medieval castle room, while also giving nods to my favorite fandoms while I'm at it. It's important to note that medieval castles look the way they do today because they're ruins. Castles at the time were covered in plaster and lime wash to make them bright white and then painted over with colorful decorations. I wanted to include the ochre color halfway up the wall, these kind of X patterns in the reddish brown and gold, the trees and flowers, and the classic 13th century stones and roses. The first thing I did was clear out the room and pack everything away into the nice storage area so I could paint. I think I'm gonna need a bigger box. Now, Guedelon is painted with materials found locally in the earth, as it would have been frivolous and costly at the time to import pigments from other places. After spending hours on my own research for pigments that I could use locally, I decided that the current weather climate and the amount of time the research was taking was impractical in the long run. I do still plan on some decorations with my own pigments, but that will be some research for another time. Once everything was out of the way, I tore up the carpet, removing all of the trim nicely to be used later on. Okay, so the carpet is all removed and all the trim is removed. So what I decided to do was take this tape and just kind of get a layout of how I want things to sit. And I'm really not happy with it because this right here is gonna be my big sewing table. I need a big work table, but with the shelves there and the shelves there, and so I'm standing in the closet right now. I want it to come out just a little bit because I want the doors to be able to swing outward without hitting anything, and a few other reasons that I'll go over in the future, and all along here, and the fireplace. But this is not conducive to this layout. I've also got the work table there that I plan on leaving there, because, it's a decent table. So I think what I'm gonna end up doing, instead of centering this underneath the window like I wanted to for light, I think I'm going to make it run lengthwise, because then I'm gonna get a lot more room over here, so we shall see. But I'm gonna change that, I think. Oh, where they stay all day in the sun, wandering free. Wish I could be part of your world. Thankfully, I had a visit from an amazing friend, Viktoria, to help with the painting. She's super passionate about medieval history, and her channel is down below if you'd like to check out the cool medieval sewing she does, and a couple of collaboration videos we've got coming up. She's also not colorblind like I am, so having her around to help pick out paint colors was super awesome. The walls of Guedelon are plastered, but I just wanted the nice off-white color, so I opted for a super pale yellow as a base that fit the color scheme instead of stark white. Guedelon also has an accent wall with some texture in the ochre color found in the clay. We chose this antique gold color that fit well and sponged it onto the wall about a third of the way up. We interrupt your regularly scheduled viewing to bring you two idiots doing the spicy jelly bean challenge and immediately following it up with the one chip challenge.
Like, you don't taste it while you're chewing it. Like, you're like, okay, it's a little spicy, and then you go to swallow it, it's like...
All right, so for those that don't know what this is the one chip challenge.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
Oh, here it comes.
Because it's building. Like, it's getting hotter, and I don't understand how they did that.
I'm already out. I bitched out.
Wow. 30 seconds.
Oh, fuck.
I don't know. Still at this point, I think the jelly bean was worse. Second hottest one.
I need to blow my nose.
Tastes like crap.
Yeah, I told you we gotta do this for the flavor.
No.
Oh, like sting in the throat.
Yeah. Whew.
Why someone would voluntarily set their insides on fire is beyond me, but let's get back to the painting. Lower down is more of a zigzag pattern, but I really liked the almost X-shaped pattern near the top of the wall. We painted the underline in a color called Georgia clay. I also decided to make the trees and flowers Guedelon has decorating the walls. My research of historical Nebraska pigments fell short, but if anyone has any information on traditional pottery techniques and paint pigments from the Native American tribes in my area, such as the Pawnee, I'd be so grateful to include the info in on this project and experiment with colors to preserve the history of my area and the indigenous communities that lived here. For my nod to Nebraska, I decided to take the state tree, which is the cottonwood, and freehand the trunk and branches. The leaves are very distinct and beautiful, and I couldn't be happier with the way they turned out. I also decided to take the antique gold color and add in the state flower, which is goldenrod. Got Bob Ross Jr. over here.
That's right.
Painting the
Happy trees.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Oh, it's looking so good. They are so happy.
Look, it's smiling.
Yes. You're right, that one does look so Tolkien-esque.
It does. It's perfect.
I made a little template out of paper to get that arrow X pattern and sketched it onto the wall. Then I mimicked the designs in Georgia clay and antique gold, alternating the pattern across the entire room. I know most of it won't be seen, but it's nice to know that it's there. Then once that was finished, I added the gold line across the top. Upon Daisy's comment about Tolkien, I thought adding his signature at the base of the tree would be a nice touch. Off camera, I thought it would be nice to include the flowers that appear in Guedelon, inspired by the Church of St. Peter. One of the heads of the Guedelon project referred to them as very pop art, and I made it a point to add them in a few different places, and including an upper area of the room that hides the duct system. The stones and roses look was very popular in the 13th century thanks to the Queen of England having them painted in her bedroom, and I couldn't think of a better place for them. But I held off on more of the painting as I started to dive into the woodwork. The woodworking has been a bit of a challenge, particularly in the area of continuing to run out of wood. As you saw from the sponsor of this video, I have completely blown my budget out of the water with some unexpected surprises. So in light of the current situation and a couple of messages from people asking, I decided to launch a Ko-fi account for those that are interested in contributing to the materials fund. Special thanks to my patrons who've gotten me this far, and I am so grateful for your continued support. I am so happy that you're all here, patrons or not. I absolutely love reading your comments, so I thought I'd start something fun for future videos. Today's comment question of the day is, what is the worst budget-blowing project you've ever spent your hard-earned money on? Mine is the Iron Throne by almost double. Leave your answer to the question as a comment down below, and I'll be sure to include a few of them at the end of the next video. But thank you so much for watching, and if you're interested in seeing the rest of how this insane, crazy project turns out, definitely make sure to subscribe, and we'll see you soon. You're like you're hesitating.
I don't want to.
Okay,
more of a
you have
diagram.
you're coming to break up with someone. You have to knock with hesitation, as if you're quiet, but you also don't want you don't want them to answer the door, because then you have to actually confront the problem. You gotta be like you're knocking quiet to where they can hear you, but you're almost praying that they don't answer the door.
I've never been the breakupper.
I'm always the breakup.
You have to knock like a chick, not like a dude.